Is prep time for a trick even worth it? I say this ironically, very, very ironically, because I'm ad-libbing this whole thing. I'm just speaking, I have questionnaires right here. Kelly being awesome right here. And I'm improvising as we do it. But normal context, is prep time for a trick even worth it? I would argue yes. It depends on the trick. So, and what kind of thing. So, what are you trying to perform it for? What's the context of the thing? So, for like an example, Shin Lim. Shin Lim was a wonderful, and I first want to compliment him. He is one of the coolest magicians. I don't do his style, but he's one of the coolest magicians for what he had, and considering his, partial arthritis and everything, as I do as well. I can relate to them on the partial arthritis, where he was able to circumvent many of his talents in piano to magic, and then be able to get around it through, and he makes look pretty, like if you could do real magic, you'd probably do it Shin Lim style, just like really just beautiful. And he was able to circumvent many of the trade-offs with using gaff work. And I think it's, considering the trade-offs, he made some pretty interesting trade-offs, and I really, really madly respect it for him. He is just a great performer, in my opinion. And he puts a ton of prep time into his work. If you check out his DVDs, some of his DVDs are like 3 hours long for one single trick. And the prep time is like, some of them, I'm being honest, is like an hour. Or 2 hours to even understand it, and an hour to actually perform it. And so there's a lot of prep time for Shin Lim's like the poster child of trade-offs to good performance, but is it worth it? That's the other part to it. So prep time for a trick is one section, and then is it worth it to another? Well, Shin Lim has done some big stage close-up shows. He is one of the beautiful performers who can do both stage work and close-up work. And parlor. He can basically do the whole gambit, which is cool. I tend to specialize in just close-up work and niche within that so I can create more creative solutions. And Shin Lim has done, gaff work to do that, which is cool. But again, he has a lot of prep time. I bet some of his shows, to do the whole thing, set it up, each one may take like an hour, 2 hours. Maybe he has a team resetting his act where he has multiple sets. So he like let's say he has 3 shows that night. He may have 3 sets, so each one can do one performance. And then when resetting it may take an hour or 2 hours, but the pay is really good. The audience management is really good. Everything's set up for that context. Then close up, and someone's asking, let's say for more close up context, and someone says, "Show me a trick." You're not allowed all that prep time unless you already have it on you, maybe a wallet for a quick trick or something of that nature, and you're prepared for that context. But if you have cards on you, you may have less prep time for that unless, and it just becomes unless, and is it worth it? And that becomes to the eyes of the beholder. For my style, I'm always circumventing prep time with clever, slight utility. For example, and this is why, for me, I don't really necessarily need prep time. Very little. Or just because I have different sections to my act, a full 45-minute show. It has my coins, cards, cups and balls, sponge balls, and I just put them away, prep it, and I'm ready in like 5 minutes with very little prep time. Because I want to be more interactive with my audience, and because there's less gaffes to prepare for, I can be more involved with the audience. With worrying less, like assuming this really is a normal deck of cards. I know this cliche is overused, but it is a normal deck of cards, and I could actually hand this out to Kelly without fear of having to worry about it, having to prep it, having to know which angles or anything to be shown at.
Shuffled.
It can be shuffled, whatever. It's great. As with prep times, there's just, you have to always be considerate of the trade-offs, and the trade-offs are what ultimately make the second decision, is it even worth it? So always be aware of that, and it makes the performance that much better because you put the thought into those things, where if you didn't, maybe the trick, you're setting up like 45 minutes for a trick, and maybe what people say is it's not even that great of a trick, or it's not even a highlight, or it's forgettable, it's not even memorable, and it's your choice whether you want to keep it or not. Is it your favorite trick in the act? Then it should go up and beyond, and still should be worth it to you, because it's your favorite trick. You love to perform it, whether or not an audience enjoys it, to your mind. For me, I just like to be able to go with less, where possible, less prep time by circumventing again with slights. So, for example, the cull. Spectre can name anything. Let's say we create an impromptu effect. It calls for 3 7s, aces, kings. What would you like, Kelly?
How many do I have to call out?
No, just name any 4 of a kind you like.
4 of a kind? 5s.
The 5s. So then I think the 5s, and I can casually, as talking spectator, use the ruse of casually talking them and showing all the cards openly. I can be able to cull all the cards. So 5 of clubs. Hopefully the camera can see this. I have to tilt it downward. 5 of clubs. And then the second one is the 5 of hearts, cull that. 5 of spades, cull that. And then the last one, 5 of diamonds, cull that. And I avoid the prep time of having to set it up or having to think about setting up on top. And through just talking to them, I avoid the prep time because it was, to my mind, just for this context, not worth it. And while talking to them, I was able to, in performance, get the 5s on top. And for me, it's not worth it because, like having to set up, because I don't like to have that extra thought. I like to just make it improvised, and it really does feel improvised, that I don't have to have any thoughts. I just do it, which is really cool. And I want to thank Kotsia Kinlot for the Roadrunner cull that allows me to have this application to use it. Check out his DVD. Not sponsored. I just really like the guy because he has some cool stuff. So that is at least my thoughts for now on prep time and if it's even worth it. Some things just to think about, and it can apply to different contexts in life, but
you build the improv part into your act, right?
Yeah.
So that's why the prep time, the non-prep time,
yeah,
you found a way to kind of...
There's just the prep time just for the general idea.
Right.
And then everything else is just improvised, almost.
But some would really need the prep time, right? Out of anxiety or fear or...
Yeah, or depending on what they do for their magic act. Like if they have special tricks with special gaffs, you need the prep time and also the mindset to be able to maybe perform it once to make sure you got it. And so each performer to what they do can matter. You know, maybe if you don't handle it or do a certain angle or do it just the right way, you may flash, the performance may get, revealed, or something may go wrong. Something may go awry. So it's to each their own. And I'm using myself as an example that, because I'm lazy, and I like to be improvised, and just really be with the audience. I don't like to have to think about my thoughts or just with the audience, and I let the audience have a little bit more range to the show, which is nice.
I like that.
I know not all audience members can do that, especially Ricky J, rest his soul, like to have more of a command show, like less talking, more display of the 15th century architecture through showing 4 queens, or in this case an ace of spades, and doing this whole things with and having a lavish display. And I get that suits the context. And there had to be a lot of, if you watch it, like seeing some of the segments of the show, you needed a lot of prep time for that. The watermelon, everything. So it's always suiting, again, that context. So
awesome.
That is that segment. And now another segment for our lovely close-up magician friends. And I'll actually do this with the shades on.
Ooh.
Ooh. So this next segment is a secret way to get the best magic books and DVDs at bargain prices. And spoiler alert, one of them is the Magic Castle swap meet.
That's a real thing?
Do you want to go into story time? Let's have fun with the story time. Yes, it's real. Or, I don't know.
Is it open only to magicians?
It's actually...
Or to the public?
There's a story time to that. It's a huge story.
Oh,
You're going to love this. You're going to love this.
Okay.
So, before the... I think it's the pandemic. We'll just call it the pandemic. I think pandemic sounds fair, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll call it the pandemic. So, before the pandemic, you could go to Magic Castle. You could be even a non-member, and you can go. And it would have it twice a year. It was mostly insider things. So if you could find connections to a Magic Castle magician, it was mostly insider, and then friends of friends directly tied to Magic Castle were allowed to go. And they actually, you would pay $7 and maybe pay for parking, but it was mostly just $7 for the entrance, and then you can actually go to the Magic Castle swap meet, and you can actually get bargain tricks and the whole selection. I would always remember as a kid, I would go there, whether I made it to Magic Castle or not, because it took me twice. I would go to the Magic Castle swap meets twice a year, and I would just get all the stuff at the greatest prices. I would bring like I would take my birthday money, I would save up the whole year just for that. It would be like $300 to $500 and just blow it all in that one day, and it was just the greatest thing. I would come down after squirreling my way of just everything. Just, I need this for my act. And you just, it's like a kid at a candy store. It really is. And I would squirrel my way with all my magician friends after, and I'd sneak down to the corner and we say, okay, what'd you get? What'd you get? What'd you get?
Yeah.
It was the coolest thing. And I thought it was really cool, but because of, pandemic, I don't know if they still offer it. And also I say it because I'm technically a former member now. So former member. It kind of has its perks.
Yeah.
I don't have to be tied to literally Magic Castle, but I still try to do good rep for them because they have given me some cool stuff. So it's still a give and take relationship with them. Then there's also, outside of just Magic Castle swap meets, there's also a couple good sites depending on what you need. So if you know exactly what you need, like basic props, lo and behold, Penguin Magic. Not sponsored by them, but would like to. They give the best prices I've pretty much seen on the internet for actually props you know and you need. So they have all the essentials. If you need anything essential, Penguin Magic has got your back. If you want the latest at a good price, then it's probably best to just go directly to the source. Like Illusionist or Theory 11 with their latest things, or like mass productions of magical effects. You can go to World Magic Shop or Magic Apple or whoever to be able to get those. Again, not sponsored by any of them, just giving sources need it be. But you were asking originally, your question for the Magic Castle, there was something. I'm not sure if I answered it.
No, it's just if it was open to the public.
Oh, yes.
The swap meet thing.
Yeah. So generally, it's mostly friends of friends, and it's not generally open to the public because it would get swamped very easily, as you can imagine. And one year, it's actually a little bit too dark. I need to raise stuff. It was a little bit too dark. So what happened was, there was one year where, I don't know, some random magician got connections to LA Weekly, I believe, or some newspaper, and they blasted it out that there was going to be a Magic Castle upcoming swap meet. And the word spread like wildfire. I don't know if it was LA Times or something to that nature. And it got out to the public, and then the public swamped the place. Like,
no, is it swap meets? Is it just books and stuff?
Books, DVDs, props, everything magic related.
Props too.
Everything. And they have it like there's like a booth to every area. Like they remove all the tables, everything, and just make it a whole day of just a magic fantasy. It's like it literally is a magic fantasy. Everything you've ever wanted in a candy store is there at a good price. Because it's swap meet. It's just like people wanting to get rid of stuff. People wanted to do different things. I was actually a part of it one year where they said, "Oh yeah, do it. You remember? Okay, it's free. And if you don't, you have to pay a certain price, and then you can do it."
How much did they get for you? Were you part of the swap meet?
Oh no, I was a member at the time, and so I got it for free, and I got my own table.
I didn't know if you were an actual prop or something you were trying to sell.
I'm always a sexy prop.
Okay.
Ladies. I'm terrible.
If you want coffee with this one.
I know, right? Anyway, where were we? So
they got swamped.
They got swamped really badly. And I mean, it's always so beautiful how they set up all the tables and all along. It's so lovely.
I would have loved it.
And I could barely get that one year that they did do that, where they got swamped. People could barely move around, and it was
coming down the hill from Yamashiro to get in.
It was crazy. It was all the way down the street, man.
And that's already such a congested area.
Oh yeah, and can you imagine?
No.
Oh man, the normal magicians actually struggle to get in. They actually had to go through the back door. I'm kidding. Not that I would ever go through the back door to get inside.
No.
Who would ever do that? Eventually they're going through the secret back door through the... Anyways. So Magic Castle swap meet, I really do. This is just from the bottom of my heart. Assuming Magic Castle is able to comfortably make it through the pandemic, I would really, from the bottom of my heart, love to pay that $7 and go and check it out, because it's just one of the most magical experiences. Not just, they have helped me a lot, become a better performer in many ways, as well as...
Respect.
It's just respect. And I also want to give thanks to Bob Dorian, rest in peace. Jamie, I believe he called himself Jamie Starr, and Diana Zimmerman. Diana Zimmerman was like, I don't know how I would describe her. She would be like a motivational mother. She was almost like a motivational mother to me. She was always believing in me, where Bob was always kind of
hard on you.
He was like the combination, the harsh combination of Simon from American Idol.
Okay.
Simon, what was his name?
Cowell.
Simon Cowell from American Idol, and Gordon Ramsay from Hell's Kitchen. If you were to combine them,
whoa,
and you got a ruthless combo, because he expected perfection, or
what are you doing here, right? If you're not perfect,
you're actually saying it very politely.
Oh.
You're actually saying it very... yeah, he was tending to be... I've seen grown males cry their hearts out after him trashing people up. But you eventually get used to it. It's Magic Boot Camp at the Magic Castle.
Would he sit in your show?
He had to.
Oh my god.
Every time. Because to be able to... And this is going to be an upcoming segment, I'll just mention now. To be able to perform at the Magic Castle, you had to first audition to become a member. And then once you're a member, you had to audition again, which is harder, to be able to perform there. And then you had to audition again to do the Future Stars, which is the highest level.
And only because I'm asking, or I wanted to know, and you would do this because by having the Magic Castle experience on your brand, it would just kind of lift your name up a bit in terms of post Magic Castle world, that you've had that, it's like you said, boot camp, so it really helped your brand. Or elevated your brand? Was that the draw for magicians? It helped in multiple ways. Okay.
Partially that, you could say, oh, Magic Castle, but then usually the next question from people is, oh, you perform Magic Castle? Can you get me in? Right. So that's why I usually tend to think of the other things, because people say, hey, Danny, this is literally what people say, side story. People would literally go, hey, Danny, I haven't talked to you in years, but are you still a member of the castle? I want to go. Yeah. Hey, Danny, I don't care about your priorities, and I was kind of mean to you, but because my priorities were to go to the castle and like, yeah, can you get me in? Just cause? And I don't, I'll maybe try to be a good representative. It's because this is why I don't do it at all, and I don't suggest really anyone does it for just any random request, because the people that go to the castle are direct representatives of you. They note and take down who were those guests and who they were tied to. So if you send bad guests to the castle and they get kicked out...
For real?
Yeah. They only allow it like twice, and then you lose your membership. So do you think we want to send someone we don't know, or someone who's mean to us, to the castle to take a chance? So that's why really try to get to know your magician.
We spend a lot of money.
I know.
When you got us in.
Oh, yeah.
We dropped a lot of money. So hopefully that looks good on you.
Yeah.
We ate dinner. We did the whole...
I was with you, right?
No.
Oh, no, you just went out.
My mom was in town.
Oh, man.
You hadn't met my mom.
We eventually need to... I think things have lined up. I wouldn't mind maybe going back.
It'd be fun to go with you.
Yeah, it would be cool to go.
I was the one they made fun of almost the whole night.
Oh, my gosh.
I was that guy.
I'm sorry.
In the showroom.
But it's still, like...
That's fine.
Yeah, I want to go, just to go.
I love being a part of the fabric. It's cool.
I could be, like, because I'm a foreign member, I don't know any magic tricks. Who says I do? Let's have that, like...
Yeah.
Hey, maybe I know what this, there'll be a professional magician right there, because I have all these magician foolers. Also like, hey, can I maybe show you a trick? I know this one little card trick. I gather an audience all around, destroy them.
Yeah.
Oh, we're terrible. Magicians are terrible. I'm partially terrible.
Well, part of the fun is tricking people, correct? That is, there's got to be something to the personalities for those of us who would enjoy that.
It's context, and the context is I enjoy taking magicians down a peg because it gives self-realization.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a way to have a more fundamental reality, because if you're too high and no one tries to break you down, then it just looks like pure ego. But if you're always in this roller coaster and it's up and down, there's a balance. You need a balance. What goes up
Must come down.
The bigger they are,
The harder they fall.
you know.
How am I doing?
You're acing it. You're acing it.
All right.
So those are the general ideas on that. I know we went a little bit off track, but
Sorry, that was me chiming
no.
in.
These are fun.